wild times, should I say. Now, we have some interesting developing info. You want to go ahead and give a rundown of what we've come across and what's happening? Go ahead.
Yeah, y'all might remember in late September we released the MDC files, or some of them, a compilation of charges from credit card expenses and some checks. And as a follow up to that, I sought some more files, let's say. So I submitted a few information requests. In particular, in the MDC files, there was some charges. One of them was at Tall City Brewing, totaling $3,563. One of them was at Cowboy Prime for $3,562.73. One was at Cancun Bar for $937.99. Another was at Saddleback Steakhouse for $1,915.63. So, anyways, I just was looking at these and I was thinking, man, I would really like to see what these guys are drinking, especially like Cancun Bar, $900 at the bar. Or with Tall City Brewing, someone mentioned, oh, the $4,000 is the cost of the room. Well, I wanted to request the receipts to see if that's actually true. So I requested those about a month ago. I also requested information about Interflight Global Corporation. The MDC pays, as you can be seen in the checks. I don't actually think that we release those, but every month the MDC has these checks for 50 grand, sometimes 10 grand, sometimes like 80 grand, or these crazy amounts every month, month after month, to Interflight Global. And when you go to the Interflight Global page, there's just really not very much information. And then when you ask the MDC, what is Interflight Global? They say it's a company that helps us get companies to come to Midland to do business in aerospace. So to me, it just seemed a little interesting. Not saying anything is bad there necessarily, but for the amount of money, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, could be in the millions at this point because it's 3 years worth of these checks every month. I just want to know what exactly they're getting for the money. So I also requested the invoices and statements for the services they're receiving from Interflight Global. I also requested some communications about the Chamber of Commerce. The city of Midland funds the Chamber of Commerce, I think around $1.5 million. The Chamber, that's like the vast majority of the money the Chamber has. So to some degree, it is the city of Midland. It's funded through an organization called Visit Midland. So there's like a middleman there. There's like a go-between. So anyways, I requested all this stuff like 30 days ago. One was 29 days ago. The other was 29 days ago. And 10 days later, they have 10 business days to get back to you. And 10 days later, they say, oh, you got to pay. For the Interflight Global stuff, we want you to pay $270
for a FOIA.
Yeah, for just some invoices, literally. $270 for a few invoices on what these checks are for.
Okay.
Just so I can look at what they're paying for it. I mean, I think that's a little unreasonable, but okay. And then the other one for the receipts and stuff, just the receipts and a couple other things, $157. So if anybody in the audience ever does this, you'll notice when they send the letter back saying you have to pay, they don't tell you how you're supposed to pay or anything, really. They just say you have to pay. So I had to call up multiple times to the city attorney's office, and I had to say, I was told to call this number because I need to pay for something. And so I finally got someone on the phone, and I said, okay, I need to pay for these. I'm coming in right now. And I pretty much had to make them let me come in and pay for them. So I came in and paid for them on October 21st. Gave them these checks. I had a receipt written. This was quite a few days ago. Now, when you pay for a request, the time limit is already expired, so they're supposed to promptly fulfill the request. And unfortunately, I really don't have anything interesting for the audience because the whole problem here is that they will not fulfill the request in a timely manner. Presumably, maybe the day after the election, I might get some interesting information.
So,
but for now, Go ahead. Yeah.
No, no, go. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
That's about all I got.
Well, so I just want to get the timeline correct here. And I just want to make sure that for layman's terms, someone like me that's so busy, like many of us that work in West Texas, right? We don't have time to be on these people's bumper. But you asked for basic receipts to their spending, the MDC, Midland Development Corporation, these outrageous, prices they spend at Cowboy Prime. A night there, they spend almost $5,000-6,000. Tall City Brewery, and then Jared Sparks, the owner of Tall City Brewery, said it was for renting a space or a room. So these are the receipts you requested. Nothing too crazy, and they hit you back with the fee. Can you give me the timeline of when you sent them? Just so we can keep it in a quick summary. When you sent them, when you got the responses back, and to where we're at today.
Yes. Responses back. For the, let's say for the MDC receipts, because there's two responses. This was October 20th. So the day after is when I went in there and gave him the checks, the 21st.
Hold on, but I'm saying you sent the FOIA request. What date?
September or like October 1st or something like that. Let me see. October 4th.
And you received correspondence back which date?
October 20th.
Okay, and what did they say there? That's when they asked you to pay?
Yes.
And you paid what day?
The 21st, the next day.
And we're here. How many days has that been already?
I think it's 12 or 13.
And they're supposed to
Right,
they're supposed to give you so I'm trying to get this right here. So they're supposed to release this immediately, correct?
that's my understanding. There's a little bit of ambiguity, but the reason there's no time limit is because they're just supposed to do it as soon as possible, because technically the time limit's already passed. They had their 10 business days.
Okay.
I've paid, so they should release them immediately.
How much have you paid total?
Let's see here, $420 some dollars.
Has this ever happened to you before where you had to pay for receipts or when you filled out a FOIA?
One time one time I tried to get the information on the Costco deal, but my request was really wide, and so they wanted like $3,500, and so I didn't go for that. But what you can do if something like that ever happens when you do a request, they have to allow you to look at it for free in person if you opt to do that. It just so happens at the time I was unable to do that, but so if you have some huge request you're doing, you can have them schedule a time where you can come in person and look at it.
Okay, so I'm going to cut to the chase here. Lori Blong, the mayor, the current, council and the city and the MDC and the COM and the MDC, all these different entities and hands out here in the cookie jar. I find it odd. That tomorrow is election day, and they have not released this information whatsoever after you paid for it, and now we're sitting here one day before we decide who's going to be the District 3 representative and the mayor of Midland. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to ask you in a minute, but I think this is very odd. I would say this also falls in line with how the city of Midland does the citizens. Lori Blong claims to be so transparent, yet I don't think she's transparent whatsoever. She walks out on city council meetings. We got her on tape doing that. They do all this weird finagling with these FOIAs. I mean, these are our receipts. We paid for this with our taxpayer money, and it's very odd they made you pay $300 to $400, almost $500 for this information, and now they're running late with little to no disregard of the timing, and they also sat here and made it very vague with them asking, or telling you how to pay them. So I think this right here is very suspicious. I'm gonna just be honest. I don't think this is transparent whatsoever. Now, if you can give me your unbiased take, or what do you think about the whole matter? I just find this very odd, yet it's not very odd dealing with these people in the city of Midland. Go ahead.
Definitely, the city during an election is at a disadvantage if they have something to hide.
Mm.
That would be embarrassing. So if they're so interested, they may want to delay the release of things. I don't know if that's what they're doing for sure, but I mean, if we get these the day after the election and the amount of drinks they're buying at the Cancun Bar is very embarrassing, people might come to some conclusions, you know? So, I mean, that's the only reason I think this is an interesting story, is just because, I mean, come on, we want to know this stuff. We have a right to know about it. And it just seems like people are kind of doing, you know, stuff that they maybe shouldn't be doing, or like right on the edge, or they could be doing some really bad stuff. But for now, it's just kind of right on the edge. I mean, $4,000 at Cowboy Prime. If I see whiskey after whiskey after whiskey at Cowboy Prime, I mean, it's not really good to be drinking like that on the job.
Ooh, I didn't think. I mean, I'm already thinking they were eating steaks, elegant, at an elegant restaurant such as Cowboy Prime. I already think that's a high dollar, or that's a eye raising amount for just steaks. But can you imagine they got drunk on the job, or using taxpayer money? It would look very bad on Lori Blong in the city. And one more update with the Ken Paxton ordeal. Have you heard back from Ken Paxton in regards to the city writing him to block the FOIA information from the last request?
Unfortunately, no. The letter's supposed to come in physical form within 45 days, and I haven't received anything. So we might not know about that for another few weeks.
Okay,
So
interesting.
that's it.
All right. Well, final words for everybody watching, people that have no trust in the local government. The floor is yours. What do you want to tell the citizens of Midland? Go ahead.
I would tell y'all, get interested in this stuff. It's really interesting. It's really pretty fun, and it's a little more fulfilling than just paying attention to like Fox News or whatever kind of drama is going on. It's interesting, and thank you for listening.
Awesome. Well, you have a great day. Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.